الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. So alhamdulillah, these days are considered by all the scholars to be the greatest days of the year. These days are of Dhul Hijjah. And in the previous lessons, we spoke a little bit about the qalb. What is the qalb again? The heart. And the heart is your amir, as your decision maker that decides for you. We spoke also about the ruh. What is the ruh? Your soul or your spirit. It's a part of you which doesn't come from this world. It comes from Allah Ta'ala. It's a part which transcends this world and is nourished by other than this world. We spoke last week about the aql. What's the aql? Your intellect. And we spoke about the aql is that part of you that can restrain what? Restrain the nafs, restrain desires for you to see things clearly and to understand things clearly. I can't remember if we spoke about the nafs. Did we speak about the nafs before? Maybe next week inshallah we can speak about the nafs. What I want to mention today is just one thing, is that human beings are fundamentally social beings. When I say social beings, we exist in societies with people. And those people that we exist, that we have around us, profoundly affect the way we think, what we believe, what we do. We are not purely rational beings. We are not beings that work things out like computers and choose the right thing every time. We are very much social beings. And therefore, in the Fatiha, Allah says, when Allah speaks about the path, Allah describes the path in terms of the beings. Ihdina as-sirata al-mustaqim, guide us to the straight path. What is the straight path? Sirata al-ladhina an'amta alayhim, the path of alladhina, of those beings that you have favored. In that there's a recognition that humans follow humans. Who do humans follow? Humans. Humans follow humans. I think what's unique in our time, as opposed to previous times, is that humans followed humans they actually knew. Humans followed humans you actually knew, because you had no way to access a human besides meeting the human. You can't follow a human unless you meet the human. And so in previous times, and not even like a long time ago, previous times, even just a few years ago, the humans that affected your life the most were the humans around you. Your parents, your teachers, your friends. What's unique about our time is that people spend most of their time being affected by humans they never meet. At the moment, the average screen time in South Africa, it's on average about 10 hours a day. This is actually a proper stuff, you can Google it, I'm not making it up. South Africa has one of the highest screen time rates in the entire world. If you doubt me, Google it and shall break down. About 10 hours of screen time a day. So most times, society is looking at a set of humans that they don't know, that they don't meet, that they don't have any relationship to. So we live like in an odd time, because now the humans in our society is affected by humans elsewhere. And my advice is that the heart and the aql and the nafs and the ruh, they all have gateways. They have doorways. What are the doorways towards your qalb? What's the doorway to the qalb? The doorway to the qalb is going to be 7 things. Amongst them is going to be the eyes, that which you see. Among them is going to be that which you hear. Amongst them is going to be even that which you say. Start affecting how you feel inside. Amongst them is your hands, what you do. Amongst them is your feet, where you go. Amongst them is your belly, what you eat. And amongst them is your private parts, how you protect it or don't protect it. These are the gateways towards the heart. If you want to shape your heart in the right way, you have to fix the doors. And if you want to change and shape your children's hearts, you have to guard their gateways. And so we have to be aware as adults that we are not immune to the effect of social power. When I talk about social power, people shaping us. If you watch something enough, if you listen to someone enough, you get affected by them. You start liking them or disliking them or wanting to be like them or sharing their worldview. You can't help but do that. You with me? It's not like you can say, no, I'm a Muslim, I'm going to watch this and I won't be affected. You will be affected. You will be affected by every interaction. And if you're going to survey yourselves and say, where am I actually spending most of my time? Which human beings am I watching all the time? That's the human being you're becoming. And these gateways can shape your being. And I often think that we often think about a physical detox. We go on our health. I'm going to cut out carbs and cut out sugars and I'll become healthy now. We also have to go on a cold detox and say, I'm going to check my gateways of my eyes and my ears. I'm going to acknowledge the effect it has on me, and I'm going to check that I'm making sure that effect is not negative. And so my only advice today is that in these holy days, and these holy days often don't feel so holy. They feel normal. Why? Because we don't really have any specific rituals to do. It's not like Ramadan where we have like, okay, we're all fasting, okay, we're all breaking our fast, okay, we all read Nakhatan, okay, we all have Tarawih. Now you feel holy because you're all moving together. But Dhul Hijjah comes and like, okay, Monday is like normal. There's like no difference because there's no like communal ritual thing happening. So it like feels normal. And I feel that it's a lot more work from ourselves to feel something, to move ourselves. It's a lot more like you can't let society shape you, you have to shape yourself. And you can see the difference between what is our hal now with regard to the last 10 days of Ramadan. Huge difference. But those days are holy and these days are holy. Holy year, in fact, these days. But there our hal wasn't, our hal was, we were sleeping in the masjid, we were on a high. Now we gone back 10 steps. Why? Because of the power of society, the power of social constructs, the power of who we're exposed to, who we're speaking to, what we do, what communal actions we're busy with. And so our job is to create or recreate or build society in a way that we think it should be, not the way it is. And where does this start? It starts in your home. Because in your home, you're building a mini society. Mommy, daddy, or daddy alone, mommy, whatever the case is, guardians, whoever's there, whoever's in the home, they're building a society. So the rebuilding of our ummah begins with the rebuilding in the home. And we try to create spaces like Mizan, where people who are rebuilding their homes come together and they share experiences. So you don't feel like alone, like, I'm the only person doing this, there's no one else doing this, I'm so out of things. You feel that you are a part of it. You are part of a whole. And so this is our broad mission, inshallah. Our broad mission is to first start with ourselves, move to our families, but essentially we have to move into society. And we have to change the structures of society. We have to change the structures of. I was thinking this morning, I had a thought about my own daughters. And I was thinking that one thing is my daughters don't do is they don't play organized sport. Often the organized sport is for the boys. The boys join the soccer team and the rugby team and the cricket team. And I'm thinking to myself this morning, I was thinking to myself, I think my girl should do organized sport. But then I'm thinking to myself, where's going to be a safe space, a healthy space for them, where they can compete and they're socially healthy and hijab is part of the culture, and there's a positive, protective space. Where are these spaces? And I'm thinking to myself, this is a gap in society. How can there not be a space where I can send my daughter and say, okay, you're going to play whatever sport you're going to play, you play some netball, you play whatever you're going to play for your development, but there's going to be a safe space for believing, practicing Muslims. And until we make those changes, we're going to suffer the consequences. Because we're always having to interact in society on someone else's terms. I don't want to interact with someone else on my terms. You know, I want to go to a space that fulfills the needs of my family and my faith and my religion and my culture that feels familiar. Why do I have to unplug all of that to join society? And so all of these things, whether it comes to organized sports, whether it comes to careers, whether it comes to business, whether it comes to social gatherings, whether it comes to everything, we have to rebuild or refashion or remodel things on our terms. And in society, in Cape Town, we have a great freedom to do that. In South Africa, we have political freedom to do that. We have enough numbers. We have enough economic support. We have everything in place. It's just waiting for us to act. It's just waiting for us to act. And we don't have enough of those spaces. And I think we must think, there's a personal appeal to everybody is to become salih. Okay, yes, become salih, but also become what? Muslih. You with me? Yes, make yourself pious and behave, believe and be good, all of those things. But also go into society and create spaces of positivity. And it's going to come back and we're going to taste the consequence of not doing that. Because if we don't create our own spaces, we're going to have to keep interacting on someone else's terms. And we can't. We can't because we have more to offer. We have the truth. We are believers. We can do everything better. You with me? We can do business better with iman and taqwa and morality and ethics. We can do everything better. And this is our mission, inshallah ta'ala. So start with ourselves, then with our families, but there's a broader social mission. Why? Because we are social beings. We are social beings. So inshallah, may Allah open the paths of your khidmah, of all of your khidmah. You must find your khidmah to establish Islam in wherever you find yourself, in every space, inshallah ta'ala. And then you create you become that provider of society where you create shade for other people. Through your hard work, you establish something that creates shade for someone else. It could be that even you have your own business and you're creating employment for people, and that employment is done on Islamic terms. You created a space for Muslims to earn their living in a beautiful manner. Maybe you're an educator, but you created a space for Muslims to be educated in a beautiful manner. Maybe you're a sports person, you created a place for people to participate in sports in a beautiful manner. Maybe you're into crafts and hobbies and you created some skill training for someone to participate in a beautiful manner. Maybe you're a designer and you design clothes for people to wear that is beautiful and it is done in a beautiful manner. Maybe you're someone who bakes and cooks, but you do something also that is going to be healthy for people and good for people. Inshallah, in every sphere there's khidmah to be done. In every sphere there's khidmah to be done, and this is what our job is, inshallah. So we're at the beginning of the first year now, but this is the long-term objective. This is the long-term objective, is that the Quran and the Sunnah has to transform society in a real, tangible way, inshallah. May Allah make us from the Muslihun. Allahu Amin, Barakallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.